Hey everybody, welcome back to Diesel Gaming. So today I was going to do a brief tutorial on how to get your G29 and G920 set up for Farming Simulator 19. So obviously the first thing you need to do is if you've purchased a G920 or G29 steering wheel, make sure that you download the Logitech software. I mean, that's a pivotal piece that you're definitively going to need to get everything up and going. So here, I want to close this here real quick because I already had it open. So the first thing you need to do is after you get your Logitech software up and going and install any new drivers or anything that you might need to do at that point is I pin it to my taskbar just to make it a little easier on myself. Open up your Logitech software. Go over to the steering wheel icon here at the bottom and obviously select it. As you can see at the top, I have multiple profiles set up for multiple games. I was just playing a little bit of American Truck Simulator earlier, but my default profile, because Logitech for whatever reason doesn't recognize Farming Simulator as a game for whatever reason, uh, I have my default profile set up for Farm Sim. So the first thing you need to do is select on the top of the steering wheel here and click this little arrow, all right? Then select Access Properties. That'll bring this menu up. I didn't adjust the sensitivity. I mean, it's basically set at 50%, which is in the middle. I did adjust the wheel operating range to 360 degrees as opposed to 900, which will be set by default. My center spring is enabled, and then my center spring strength, you'll notice, is set down to 5. The lowest percentage rate that Logitech will go down to is 10% by default. In order to change it at any lower value than that, you need to then basically highlight it and press the number 5 on your keyboard. And that's it. Once you've done all that, once you've made all these changes, obviously you need to select OK. Hopefully your computer can run multiple applications at the same time, because initially when you first want to get it set up to run on Farm Sim, after you've changed everything in your access properties, uh, if you want to leave it at the default 900 degrees of rotation, that's really personal preference. And center spring strength is also personal preference. But once you've done all this here, the next thing you need to do is when I first set it up, I left the Logitech gaming software running in the background. So all I did was just bring it down to the bottom of the screen, just kind of tuck it away, and leave it at that. So the next thing we're going to need to do is go into Farm Sim and go and work with the options. So in just a second, we'll be back in the game and we'll start going through the options. Okay, so now we got Farm Sim up and loaded up. So the next thing we need to do is come down here to options, okay? And now we're going to want to set up our actual device. So as you can see at the top of the screen, it's set up for the G920. So basically what I did at this point is then all of these axis dead zones I have set to 0, right, with 100% sensitivity, because with the default, with everything set up in the default, it can give you kind of some really wonky stuff going on with your steering wheel. So the best advice I could possibly give is make sure that you go through every single dead zone and make sure that it's set to 0, that the sensitivity stays at 100%, and at that point you will have probably some of the best driving experience with a steering wheel in Farming Simulator 19. All right. Once you change these properties, you'll obviously have to apply them, and it'll basically uh, restart the game, and then at that point, if you want to change any of the uh, key bindings, you would obviously do that over on gamepad. Gamepad is where you need to be to change and put in whatever key bindings you want to have on your physical steering wheel. And obviously there's a little differences between the 920, which is what I have, and the G29, which was built for PlayStation compatibility. The 920 was built with Xbox compatibility, and I've noticed that it plays the nicest with any racing games, Farming Simulator 19, American Truck Simulator, and Euro. So put in whatever key bindings you want, and you'll have to sit and play with this a little bit to your preference. Mine is set up exactly how I like to play it, and that's all that I need for me. So we're gonna pause this here real quick. We're gonna jump into one of the maps that I'm currently playing and recording on, and I'll show you how smooth things run with the steering wheel set up properly. So now we're in game. I got my Midwest Horizons map opened up, and I'm just going to take you over to a tractor, and we're going to climb up on in, and I'm going to show you, basically how smooth it can then run. Also take into consideration that on my default profile, I have the steering wheel set up for 360 degrees of rotation. So one, I don't have to turn the wheel as far to get 900 degrees of input put in. So when I'm running down the end of the field and I want to get turned around, I'm not turning the steering wheel 900 degrees to get turned around. I'm only turning it 360. So I mean, that's really still personal preference. So we're going to run over and get in this 9R here real quick, and I'll basically let you check that out. So we're in the tractor. Let's get it fired up. And I'm going to start driving. And if you watch the steering wheel, I don't have to move it very far, and it really starts putting in the input. And I've reached 360 degrees of rotation, and I mean it turns fairly quick. So whatever you want to do, it's going to work with how you want it, as long as you basically follow those very simple steps to get it working in game. I've got key bindings set to exactly how I like, and that's still just a matter of personal preference. But I don't find it, acting funny and acting wonky as I'm driving around. The only thing is with it set at 360, some vehicles turn quite a bit faster than others. Especially like the articulating tractors and like the 2-track 9 series tractors, like the 9RT, right? Because it's basically only just rotating, on its one axis, So we'll just come over here to the 9RT, and I'll disconnect it from the planter, and just give you a brief overview of what that looks like. So unhook my planter, fire up the tractor. Now, just with a little bit of input, I mean it'll spin around 360 degrees fairly quickly. I honestly think that between the articulating tractors and the 2-track tractors, their steering rotations were turned up a little bit too far, I'm under the understanding that those can be changed in XML. I have not tried them on my own yet, but this will at least get you up and going to get your Logitech wheel working with FarmSim basically right out of the box. And hours and hours and hours of gameplay you're going to enjoy with a steering wheel instead of a pain in the wrist by playing with just the keyboard and the mouse, you know. Unless that's your thing. Get my planter hooked back up and turn around and get out of the tractor. So I hope that this brief tutorial has been helpful. Uh, Leave a comment down below, and if you have any questions or if you're having trouble getting it working, there's a link to our Facebook page down below, diesel.gaming, and then there's also a link to our Discord. Any one of those mediums, if you're having problems or have questions with it, the functionality of your G29 or G920 wheel working with FarmSim, drop us a comment. Hit us up on Discord. Check us out on Facebook. Hit us up over there. You know, we're definitely willing to help get you going and enjoying FarmSim to its fullest. So on that note, please like, share, and subscribe to this video. Let me know how we're doing, and check out our Facebook page. We got videos uploaded over there. You know, posts of varying content over on our Facebook page. And again, hit us up on Discord. Uh, we love connecting with our fans out there. So, thank you for watching. This was Diesel Gaming, and we'll see you in the next one.